Welcome to another edition of First and 10 with Rams football coach Brad Sherrod. I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher. We're in Lou's Place on the campus here at Texas Wesleyan University. Behind us, construction of the Moritz Fieldhouse. So, Coach, we have helmets here in case it gets a little raucous out there. We
right.
Put on our own construction helmets.
Right, I guess we need some hard hats. I don't know if these will help.
Rams coming off their second bye, their second in the last 3 weeks, sandwiched around a big win over ABU. We'll get to that in a second. Coach, did you do anything different, or what did you different, if anything, during this bye week?
We did pretty much the same thing we did the first one. Really focused on ourselves and getting better in some areas. There's still room to improve. So we just kind of really focused on the fundamentals, continue to focus on our fundamentals, things that matter, things that can affect the game. Creating turnovers, holding on to the football, becoming better tacklers. So we worked on those things that kind of, impact the game, and we want to make sure that we just continue to keep working the fundamentals.
Did you get any time for Brad Sherrod?
Yeah, I was able to get home to see my wife and my kids for a little bit less than 48 hours, but it was a good visit to be home a little bit, but eager to get back here on Sunday to get started.
The game in between the two byes was another big one for the Rams, second highest scoring output in Rams history. They was second just only to just a couple weeks ago when they had an 80-0 victory over NAU. This one was against ABU, 77-0. The Rams ran up over 500 total yards, 1 yard short of 400. How similar was this to that big win over North American University?
Well, it was similar. We got a lot of guys in and play a lot of different guys. We were able to get our guys out early and try to, rest them and keep them from getting injuries, but we were able to play a lot of guys. And that's our key to continue to keep developing depth on our football program. And so that gave us an opportunity to play a lot of young kids, a lot of guys that normally don't play, that will probably have to play for us towards the end of the season. So it was a good way for us to do that, and that's a similarity to it.
Rams number one in the NAIA in scoring, 55 points a pop, 55 points a game. How difficult or how hard is it to execute at that pace?
Well, we're not an up-tempo team. So when we do call our plays, our kids execute at a very high level. And to me, it's, Carson's doing a great job of just making really good decisions with the football. The offensive line is continuing to get better. So when we do the things that we're supposed to do and execute at a high level, you can expect the high output of points. So I'm really proud of the way the guys approach the week, how they stay focused, how they stay humbled. And they did this past week in the off week as well.
And as mentioned, the Rams passing 399 yards, speaking of Carson Rogers. So the offense obviously clicking the last two victories with those 157 points. What needs to be improved, if anything, on the offense?
Well,
how do you get to 100?
I don't know if we're going to ever get to 100, but I think the key is to be us, be who we are, and continue to get better. Our offensive line is still young. So they're still learning as they see different fronts and different schemes. So it's important to those guys to continue to keep getting better. And then we need our more experienced players. Carson Rogers, Ernie Caesar. We need AJ Bob. We need those guys to continue to perform at a high level and execute at a high level. And when they have the ball in their hands, it really be spectacular. And we need to see. A lot of our other guys start to continue to keep stepping up and keep growing in that capacity as well. So I'm real pleased with that, pleased with those guys. Jason Price is doing a great job of returning kicks for us and just being a returner, period. So we're doing some good things, and we just need to continue to keep doing those things.
The Rams are number 14, same as last week in the latest poll. Another one comes out this week, but they were 14th in the NAIA poll at 5-0 now. There are 8 teams ahead of you guys with 1 loss. What do you have to do to move up?
Well, I think we just need to keep playing and, just keep proving our case every week. And that means we got to go out there and play well. And so don't get caught up in the polls and where you are. Just play the game And that's what we focused on, is just playing the game and being prepared for the very next opponent. And I think as we do those things, it'll show more for those folks that make those kind of decisions. But we can't control that. We're just going to control the things we can control, and we can control how we prepare and play.
And speaking of big scoring games, how important is it to score as many points as possible?
You know, we definitely don't want to run into an issue that we ran into last year with, if you lose by so many points, you're not in the playoffs. We definitely don't want that situation to be the case for us not getting in the playoffs. But like I said, we just got to be able to control what we can control. We can't control what the other team does, or all we can do is control what we do. And if we have an opportunity to score, I want our guys to score. And we need to stop people from scoring. So we're going to continue to play our brand of football and do what we do, run our offense, run our defense, and then we'll live with that.
The Rams are third in the NAIA in scoring in the red zone and second in the sack. The red zone is anything 20 yards and closer to the goal line of the opponent. How tough is it to score in that red zone? Well,
you know, the field is strong, so, you know, it's not a lot of room down there. So you really got to execute and really call some really good plays to give yourself a chance to score. So I thought Fran has done a great job of really executing down there and giving us some opportunities to score and take advantage of those opportunities. So when you're down there, you want to score. You want to score touchdowns. So they've done that, and like I said, but it comes down to our playmakers making plays and our offensive line doing a great job of giving those guys a chance to make plays.
And the Rams are number one in the Sooner Athletic Conference in defense and points per game allowed, 15.6, and they're also number one in total yards and passing yards. What does the D have to improve on?
Well, we need to continue to be better tacklers. I don't think we've gotten any takeaways, is what we call them, like creating fumbles on defense. We need to continue. We need to get back to that and create some more fumbles. We've gotten interceptions, but we really need to get some turnovers, some forced turnovers there, some forced fumbles. I think that would just help us on defense a lot, get the ball back to our offense. We need to continue to keep learning how to play the run game and fit up the run and do those things. Those things to me are important, that we stop the run and we create turnovers. I think that just gives us a better chance to win the ball game.
And you touched on the special teams a little earlier about how excellent they have been in special teams with all the electric players they have on that, both on the kicking side and the return side. But how much time do you spend on special teams? I remember at the beginning of the season, the first interview we did, you said 20 or 40 minutes, which is, I don't want to say outlandish, but it's outlandish for the amount of time you spend on special teams. How much you spend it on special teams now?
You know, we were talking about that the other day. You know, we practice on Sundays, so we spend about 28 minutes on special teams. So, and then on Tuesdays it's 14 minutes, Wednesdays 14 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes on Thursday. So I think it came out to about an hour and 14 minutes that we spend on special teams. So we should be good at special teams, as much time we spend on it. But that's a phase of the game I think is overlooked sometimes, and people don't spend a lot of time on it. We want to spend time on it because we want to be great at it. And the only way to be great at it and make it important to the kids, I'm involved in it, I coach a unit, all our coaches are involved in it, they coach a unit. So to make it important to the kids, we all need to be involved in that so they understand that how important that piece of the game is, just not offense and defense. Our special teams has to be special too. And I thought we've gotten better with our kickoff return. Definitely our punters, one of the top ones I really like Tyler. And I think our kickoff coverage has really improved. And we need to continue to improve in that area. That's one of that's one team that has gotten better but really has a lot more to do.
And the Rams have the double-headed monster kickers in Max Luna and Diego Chavarria. Next up are the Nelson Lions, formerly Southwest Assemblies of God University. They're still the Lions. They're still from Waxahachie. 2-3 is their record. They've lost 3 in a row. How do you see the Lions?
Well, I think they're talented. They got a talented quarterback. They do enough on offense to make you work not just zone right and zone left. They're going to run some gap scheme at you and make you work and learn how to fit those things up. Defensively, I think they're really talented. They probably got their nose guard is really talented, and they have some talent around him in the back end as well. So it'll be a challenge for us. We'll get their best shot, and we're going to have to learn we're going to get everybody's best shot. So we need to learn how to match that every week. But it should be a good game, and probably not as high scoring, but it should be a good game for us.
maybe at least 50 burger. I want them to get to 100, but I don't know if that's going to be possible this year. If they didn't do it with 80 and 77, but still, at least a 50 burger, that's the goal. At least that's what I want to see. And do you specifically look at tape? You look at a ton of tape, you and your staff. Do you specifically look at the teams that you're playing, like now, the team that you're playing in Nelson? Do you look at the common opponents that you've played, like Ottawa and ABU, that has played the forthcoming opponent? Do you look at that more than you look at other tapes?
Well, what we try to do is I look at a team that's maybe scheme-wise similar to what we do. So that kind of give you an idea of how they're going to attack you a little bit. But at the end of the day, I watch all of it. I watch special teams. I just watch the game as it unfolds. I just watch the special teams as it happens, offense, defense. And really, I just kind of want to see the rhythm of the game and how it goes, and how the offense coordinator's calling it, how the defense coordinator's calling it, and what they're doing on special teams, and look at that piece of it. But we try to look at the scheme and see how they would attack us, but really look at their top plays and look at who's in the game and what they like to do with that person in the game. And to that tells us a lot about what we need to do defensively and offensively. So that's how we approach every week when we study our opponents.
I was always curious as to what a daily routine would be for a head coach, not during bye week, obviously, but give us what you do Monday through Friday before the week of a game.
Well, Monday, we get in about 8 o'clock, and we start, game plan and start watching film. Of course, I meet with you and do some filming, but there's some administrative meetings. There's some stuff in the community. I like to try to get out and meet some local businesses and try to drum up some business for the football program in the university. That way, Tuesdays are pretty much the same thing. We practice at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, Wednesdays. We still get in about 8 o'clock. We get practice ready and prepare for the next day's practice as well, and game plan for that, for our third downs. And we do that on Wednesday and prepare for our end of game situations on Thursdays. So it's pretty much I'm involved in pretty much all those things. But I got a good staff. They do a great job of taking a lot of that off my plate so they can do those things, so I can focus on the administrative stuff that I need to do.
Hey, what's your assessment of the team at the halfway point now at 5-0?
Well, I think that we've grown in a lot of areas. We're still trying to. I want to make sure we're developing that sense of toughness for our program. I want to make sure that we're doing that, and really talking about the culture piece of being men, being young men, being mature men, being servants. And I talk about that a lot because it's true. And it's not just always football that we're talking about life out there on the football field. So I think a lot of guys have stepped up. I think there's a lot of guys that didn't play last year that are actually playing now. So trying to help navigate, hey, class is still important. We've got to go to class along with, doing your football stuff, but you can't neglect your class and your school work and all those things. So they're trying to learn and navigate that stuff as well for some of these new guys that are actually playing for the first time in their career here. So I really like the team and what we're doing, but we need to learn how to stay focused, learn how to be students of the game. I think that's an ongoing process.
Going back to the game with Nelson, or formerly Sagu, what's the excitement level for this Highway 287 rivalry game?
Well, it's a good thing that a lot of these kids know each other from both teams, and they played against each other in high school, and they have some friends. Our guys have some friends over there, so it'll be a good matchup. It'll be a good show of talent in the state of Texas in this area, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think they're a really good football team. I do like them. I don't see them for what their record is. I just see the talent that's out there and have a chance for us to go out there and compete.
And we're excited too. We being myself and Sherrod Jones of the Antler Sports Network, will have that game for you at 3:30 for the 4 o'clock kickoff from Crowley ISD Multi-Purpose Stadium this Saturday. It's the Rams looking for their 6th straight victory, and I almost called them Sagu, the former Sagu Lions, now the Nelson University. So, Coach, go get that 6th victory this weekend.
Rams up.
Rams up. For Coach Brad Sherrod, for Kenneth Flowers, for James McBride, for Ricky Donson, I'm the Jimmy the St. Christopher. Talk to you next time on First and 10.